Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Cities Skylines. I hope you're having a good one because I am excited to be back. Things are going pretty well in Nerdinburgh. I've been a little bit busy since the last episode, and just in case you didn't watch that episode, I was a little bit busy in that episode. Yes, I got some things done, or rather, a thing done. I went ahead and started working on this neighborhood, and since then, as you might be able to tell, I've basically gone around every single house and added fences. I've put some trees in here, I've made park spaces, and I've generally tried to make whatever this place is called, Oak District, good name. I've tried to make Oak District as, I guess, pleasant as I can possibly make it. I wanted it to feel like a proper neighborhood. I wanted it to feel kind of fancy, but it's also right next to a highway and really not that far from an airport. So, you know, while it looks nice, every 5 minutes you have to deal with the sound of a plane coming in overhead. And that's not all. There's a little project I want to work on today, and it's pretty much the only thing I have planned for this episode. I might do some other things, but I have one thing that I've been sitting on for a couple of days, and I've just been waiting to sit down and do this. I've been kind of busy this last couple of days. I apologize. It's been a little bit since the last episode, but we're here now, so let's get to it. Or rather, let's talk about one thing I did, which is build a school. Because obviously education is something that we need to stay on top of, and it's something I've not been staying on top of. So I decided to add an elementary school right to the middle of Oak District, and I like to think it's reasonably well detailed. I've put some parking lots at the sides, I've got some trees around it, and it looks kind of nice. It's got a little play area out the back as well, and it does the job. I was thinking of adding a high school to the neighborhood as well, but I feel like the high school building just doesn't really match, and the European one doesn't really match either. So what I will probably do is carve some space out of this area and put a high school in there so that it's relatively close to this train station. It's got some buses nearby, and it's, you know, quite close to Oak District as well. Now we can talk about what I want to do today. And you might have seen this already. And yes, it's going to be a construction site, because there are a lot of these spaces in Oak District where there's just nothing right now. And I'm not 100% sure what to do with all of them, but this one at the very least, and possibly some others, I kind of want it to be a construction site. So I went to the Steam Workshop and I got myself a bunch of prefab house pieces, as well as things like beams and wooden floors and bits of structure like the wooden truss of a roof. And I think I can do some cool stuff here to make this look like a construction site for essentially two houses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll through here, and I'm going to get myself a couple of bits of house, well, bases, and we're going to just sort of lay out roughly what size I think these houses would be. And I can sort of base it on these guys as well. I mean, looking at these, you know, you're looking maybe two of these going back that way. You're looking at maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sort of there. So if we kind of base it on the houses that are already here, we can do something maybe kind of interesting. So if I was to place, say, a bit of foundation, I guess there is probably not too bad. I'm going to use this one at the back just to break it up a little bit, and we'll go for this. And we'll do another one of these guys, I guess, right about, I'd say, there is probably fine. And I can't really double these up the way I'd want to. So I guess what we'll do is something like that, and we'll go for another one, I guess, right about there. And that's a little bigger than I was hoping for, but I think I can make that work. Now, in terms of the entrance, we're probably going to want to put it, I guess, on, let's say, this side right about here. I think would be a pretty good spot for it. And I'm actually going to try and use move it to do this and get it right into position exactly where I'd want it to be, which is, I think, about there. I think that's pretty good. And for the rest of the prefabs, I'm not going to go around and build, you know, an entire house by scratch. or from scratch, but I do want to try and just make it look like it's a little work in progress. I think that's kind of cool. So we'll get this little bit of wall, we'll get this little bit of wall. And I guess what we can also do is get like a beam in that corner and that corner, probably that corner and that corner as well. And we can essentially just, you know, put this together, make it look like it's under construction. We can put some construction equipment around it, and it's just going to look a little bit different. It's just going to look a little bit interesting. And to be completely honest, I recently started going through and rewatching Grand Designs. I don't know how many times I've necessarily talked about my love for Grand Designs here on the channel, but every time I do, I usually pair it with a desire to get back into building in The Sims, which I'm pretty sure I've talked about recently. I don't know if it was this series or Sim Airport, but I've gotten into watching Grand Designs again, and that is such a slippery slope to go down because, well, there's multiple reasons it's a slippery slope to go down. One reason is that I can't afford to build my own house, and it makes me want to build my own house, which, let me tell you, building your own house, especially something like you'd see on that show, not cheap. It is not cheap to do that. So, you know, Grand Designs it's like a cooking show, but for people that kind of vaguely like architecture, right? I couldn't really tell you the first thing about architecture, but I can pick up words from a show like Grand Designs and be like, ah, yes, the facade of the building or the cladding of the building. You know, it looks exquisite, right? You can pick up words like cladding and facade. You know, the most basic words for for architecture, but you sound kind of smarter when you use words like cladding and facade. So, you know, that's basically where I'm at with that show. It's so good. I love it. I really do. And there's sometimes, it's like, it really is like a cooking show, right? How many times have you watched something like the Great British Bake Off and you see someone do something? Or even a show like Chopped or Cutthroat Kitchen, and you're like, man, that guy's an idiot. I wouldn't do that. What is he thinking? This person who has so much more cooking experience than I do. What is this crazy person thinking? Doing that with whatever their ingredients might be. I love it. I genuinely love it. I'm also thinking I probably shouldn't use concrete for this upper part here. And instead, I want to go get some wooden sections. Although I don't know, well, yeah, maybe we should use concrete. Maybe we'll use like a solid bit of concrete for this guy right here. So it looks like it's already been poured. I'm not really sure why the upper section would be completely solid before the lower section, but we're doing it because I just want some, I want some variety in my detail here. So we'll do this. I want to grab that post and lower it a little bit. And that corner is not supported. It probably should be. In fact, it really should be, but, well, it's too late now. Let's just level everything. That looks fine, I guess. And I guess what we could probably do as well is grab that pillar and just move it up so it looks like there's a bit more verticality to the house, which is kind of what I'm wanting. So let's just slap it right about there. And that looks okay. It's not perfect, but it looks okay. This unsupported corner is giving me anxiety though. So I just want to ever so slightly slap that bad boy right there. I've never said the phrase slap that bad boy in my life, and I'm probably never going to say that again, but well, here we are. That's a thing that has come out of my mouth. It's what that is. Right. Do I want to do some of these prefab things here? Because this is something I've seen on Grand Designs. This is like I think this is like the frame into which they pour the concrete. So I guess we could do that over here and be like, yeah, they're pouring the concrete walls, which is kind of neat. It's a little bit of detail that we wouldn't otherwise have. So I guess that, and I guess that right there is probably okay. We could maybe shuffle them just a little bit so they're more central, and back a little bit so they're not clipping with the pillar. I kind of like that. I do kind of like that. Gives a little bit of color. to the otherwise very gray structure. And it's not perfectly lined up, but I don't really care. I'm not gonna, you know, intricately detail this to make it look absolutely 110% perfect. I will say that right now. But I am going to put these trusses in here because I like to imagine that some stuff will be delivered to this site like long before it's, well, not long before it's needed, but definitely some time before it's needed. So let's see. Can I bring these down a little bit? We probably don't need that many of them, but we'll do, let's see, 0.5 for the gap, and we'll bring this just in a little bit to be, let's see, how many houses are we going to build here? And what way is the roof going to look? So I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4 trusses there and a flat section. So we probably need 8 trusses if we're doing 2 of the same house. What is that? Is that 8? That is. All right. So we'll do that and we'll place it. And I can move these around to be wherever I want them to be. But what I'm kind of wanting to do is just get something to support them. So like, I guess some pillars or something so that they're stacked up against the pillars here. So one like there and one there. And then we do one on this side and that side as well. Just so I mean, they're a little bit big, those pillars, but it's just something to be like, yeah, no, that's what's supporting these things and stopping them from just falling over. And I think I can probably lower these, right? Yeah, so those can be lowered so that the trusses are not, you know, sitting amongst these huge pillars. And then all I need to do is go in there and be like, yeah, these things all just get shuffled over towards the fence. They get rotated a little bit. And, well, I guess they could probably sit back there a little bit since they're not needed right now. And that looks all right. That's a little bit of storage, I guess, for something that the construction's going to need later on. And then in terms of other things, I mean, I'm kind of, like I said, I'm just winging it. There's 2 reasons I'm doing this. One, I don't really know and didn't really know what to put in this space. And 2, I've been watching Grand Designs. That's literally why I'm doing this. This is, so blame, what's his name? Oh wait, we have stairs. Oh my God. I didn't realize we had stairs. I mean, I think this house would have these. I've got to be honest. I think these are the stairs for this house. Absolutely. That looks kind of cool. It looks like a proper little construction site, doesn't it? It looks like a proper little thing. What is this? It's a wall. Oh, neat. Like a tiny bit of wall. Okay. What if we had... I'm just playing The Sims now. Let's be honest. I've kind of just settled on playing The Sims, I think. I want to do a concrete... Oh, not concrete. I want to do a steel beam across this as well. So I want to go... Oh God, I want to rotate this properly. I want to go like, I don't know, there. And I want to do like a right angle from there. And that should be fine. So if I grab that, we want to make sure they're level to the same height, which they are. I want to raise it up a bit. And then we're going to move them. And they're going to go sort of at a corner with that corner. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense right now? I don't know if I am. I really am just playing The Sims. This is why I don't make Sims videos. All right. This is genuinely what my commentary is like when I play The Sims. It's like, should I build this? I don't know, but I'm going to try. And it just devolves into like bad idea after bad idea, but that looks fine. That's going to be house number 1. And then house number 2 for this whole project, I'm just going to copy house number 1 and then delete some parts. And I think that's probably how we're going to place house number 2, which is going to be like, I guess here. I don't know how I feel about this. This doesn't seem like a good place for a house at all. What about that? I mean, that would kind of work. It doesn't seem like there'd be great site access back there, but I mean, I can sort of do this, but again, not great site access. That's not great site access either. I think we're just going to sort of wing it. And I'm sort of just going to place it there. All right. It's not great, but it works. And then what we'll do is we'll take out these bits and we'll take out, I guess, like this bit of brick. And we'll take out, I guess, I don't know. I think that's fine. That's enough, like, differentiation to make it very noticeably two separate things. And I suppose what we could also do is go in and just put some, well, I was going to put some posts in here, but it really wouldn't make sense for them to be putting fence posts into the construction site, considering the thing is nowhere near done. So I think what I'll do instead is I'm just going to put some, little pallets of wood around here. So we could do this. We can kind of just put that one there as well. And I've probably got some pallets, to be totally honest. Yeah, we've got like all of these. We've got pallets with bricks on them, which seems like a great little addition. So I'm going to put some pallets with bricks right there. Going to put some pallets with bricks right there. And we have this one as well, which is a little bit neater and doesn't have the bricks just sort of sitting everywhere. So we'll just sort of dot these guys along that fence a little bit. And again, it just makes it look a little bit busier, which I like. I do need to get some decals though, and make it look like there's, vehicles coming in here. But I like this. I think that's pretty good. I'm actually kind of happy with how this is looking. It's not crazy detailed, but I think it's detailed enough to sort of sell the point that I'm going for. It looks like two houses under construction. We have a crane that's there to lift the heavier parts. And we have, trucks coming in with more bricks, one parked out here because there's not necessarily enough room to go in yet. And I like that. I think it's pretty cool. I am sort of thinking it might not be a bad idea to remove those two barriers and maybe go in and sort of rotate these guys to make it look like these are moved to open the site up every day, I guess, is sort of what I'd imagine they do with these things. So we can sort of, open it up like that and then just imagine that maybe, there's another one there or something like that. So that's kind of how the site gets open. So there's plenty of room for vehicles to get in. And I think that's probably fair enough. I do want to see if we have cones, which we absolutely do, because I do sort of want to do, well, I kind of want to move this truck, and moving it the way I'm going to move it here is going to put it right on a pedestrian path that people are using. That's what I've used to line this area, is pedestrian paths. But I think I'm kind of going to allow that. Yes, it's going to be a little bit weird to have people walking through, the truck essentially, but I think it's fine. I think we can do something like that. And I think we can do, a little something like this, just sort of going along to just outline the area a little bit. Make it look like there's a little bit more going on, right? A little bit more detail. It's a little bit more outlined and obvious where the construction site is. So I like that. I think that's pretty good. We've got our construction signs, we've got our trucks, we've got our crane, our forklift. We don't have anybody working in there, but I like that, even if the fences disappear when you zoom out. I think it's a good looking little construction site. It fills the space really well, and it's different. So that's good. That's exactly what I wanted in there. And looking at it, I might do something similar up here as well. I think, maybe having a couple of developments on this one road sort of makes sense. So let's go ahead and very quickly put this together. I'm not going to go through the same process of placing all these different parts and all these different pieces and all that stuff. At least, I I am going to do that, but I'm not going to just walk through it the same way I did the first time and, you know, rant about I'm basically playing The Sims or whatever I ranted about that first time around. I am just going to put these paths in here and just very carefully get them exactly how I want, which is about there. And I think that's probably good enough. Now, I did, between episodes, go and get the surface painter mod because it's one that I've been talking about for a hot minute that honestly I probably should have got a while ago, because it just lets you do stuff like this. And this is the reason I'm using these paths as well, is surface painter will connect really nicely to these dirt paths. And if I was to just use it to go right up to the road, you can see it kind of gets weird with the sidewalk. So this basically lets me, you know, keep the sidewalk as it is. And that's what I want to do. So I think that's probably fine as is right there. Let's use a different type of fence this time around. Although in saying that, oh, I totally forgot that I had these. Oh my God, I totally forgot I had these planters. Wait. Oh, they look amazing. Oh, they actually look amazing. I totally forgot I had these. I am slightly annoyed that I forgot I had these. Oh man, we're gonna have to make a really beautiful downtown area at some point. But for now, I need to figure out what I'm using for this fence. So what I'd used before was, it's in here somewhere. It's this guy. So green covered construction fence. You can maybe see why I would have wanted to use that. We do have these guys though, which, I mean, looking at it, that's pretty solid. That's a pretty good looking construction fence. So I guess we'll use these. They're probably good enough. And what we can do is just sort of go, I guess, here and here. And I guess right to about there is probably good enough. They're not connected together perfectly, but I'm not really too worried about that. They are construction fences. They're not really designed to be here forever, although they will be in this series because I'm probably never going to come back and finish these houses. Not that, how would I come back and finish these houses now that I think about it? That's maybe a question for another time. Regardless, we've got these lovely fences coming around here, and it's looking like it's going to give us a pretty good open space at the front here, which isn't really too bad. I'm not super worried about that. Although I do kind of wonder how I'm going to maybe close the site at nighttime. But, well, it's, you know, we don't have a day-night cycle, right? We don't have a day-night cycle going. Although I have seen comments that have been like, hey, day-night cycle, please. And in saying that, I have also got some construction lights, which I think, I'm very tempted to do I'm very tempted to turn on the day-night cycle now and see what the construction lights would do for this space. And for, you know, right here as well. I think it might look really cool, actually. I'm not gonna lie. So we might have to do some day-night cycle stuff at some point. But for now, what we'll do is, I guess, we'll just go in and use some little segments of this fence, again, to sort of make it look like, well, actually, we have this chain link one, which kind of looks like it would move out of the way. It's not exactly what I'm looking for, but it sort of looks like it could move out of the way, right? Unless I just put this in here and we imagine that moves out of the way, but that seems a little far-fetched. I've got to be honest. I need to figure this fence situation out. That's what I'm realizing. What if we just imagine that these are like on hinges and they just swing back like that and like that, I guess. I'm kind of okay with that. A little bit of a different yard. Maybe it's a different construction company, but I'm going to be honest. They are just going to be building the same houses. I'm not doing all that prefab stuff again. So let's just grab these and copy them over there. And there we go. We have a second construction site. It's honestly a little more bare than the other one. It's a bit of a bigger space. We could have probably got a third house in there, but I think it does the job. It's just another set of houses ready to go up. I'm also going to be honest and say that I do think up close, I prefer these fences, but from a distance, these ones actually stay loaded. So I'm kind of going to keep these guys up here. I'm also going to put these cities realty signs just sort of around this so that you can kind of see the company that's doing the construction, I guess. I think that's something you usually see around construction sites, is the name of the company responsible for the site pretty regularly. So we'll go ahead and do a little bit of that right there, just so we've got that detail in there. And I think that's a good little use of that space. It's different, but it's not bad. And I'm going to be completely honest, I do think I want to replace, as much as I like these fences up close, I think I'm probably going to replace them. But I also want to go ahead and pause. I want to go into gameplay, and I want to turn on the day-night cycle, because I do want to see if these lights actually light up. I want to see what this looks like at nighttime. And I also want to figure out what to do with more of these spaces, because I don't want them all to be construction sites. I don't think they should be construction sites. And I do think I went overboard with trees for these first few rows of houses. I know that's completely unrelated to construction sites, but I just wanted to mention that. I mentioned it on Twitter, and then I toned down the amount of trees for the rest of them, or rather, I went with more open spaces and more bushes than trees, at least in most of it. And I'm also looking at this and thinking this could probably be a really good construction site as well, because it's a weird space, but I'm not covering this place in construction. It's just going to look a bit silly. Now, what I would like to do while I'm waiting for nighttime to come around is figure out what I can put in this space, because we do have things like these park piers, but the problem is they sort of go at the top of that key, not exactly at the bottom of it, which isn't exactly where I want it to go. Although in saying that, this one might actually be kind of cool, because it extends out over like just into the water, and I kind of like that. So let me just lower this guy down a little bit, and I'm gonna put it like this, so it's got like 2 or 3 steps up into it. I do kind of like that. In fact, I'd almost be inclined to move it a little further this way, or maybe down to like here, so it's kind of in line with that little gap in the concrete. I don't mind that. I actually don't mind that at all. I think it's kind of neat. We'll actually go a little bit lower, and there's the lights coming on as well. That I think that's kind of cool. I like that a lot. Let's do the other pier down at, I guess, this end. I'm not too sure if this one's going to look all that good. Although, you know what? That's actually kind of cool, having the elevated, I guess, seating area right there. That's a little bit different. So let's do a couple of those. Let's do 4 of them. And let's just go ahead and try to get them all nice and level, which they are. And we can lower those down as well, so you have like 1 or 2 steps up into it. And I think that's kind of cool too. You know, it's not exactly the most private seating area, but it's definitely an interesting one with like an interesting little view. Now, let's look at these construction sites. Can you see them from? Oh my God, yeah, they light up pretty well. Oh, look at that. That's actually really cool. That is actually really cool at nighttime. Okay, and we got the lights over here too. What does the city look like? What does the I've not actually seen this at nighttime before. This is kind of new to me. I'm gonna just do this mode so I don't see the death wave going on. That's pretty cool. This is, oh my God, that right. Oh my God, the sky. Oh wow. I have not seen this at nighttime before. This is something, man. This is really cool. All right. I like this a lot. I really like this a lot. What is the Nuremberg sign? Oh my God, look at that thing. That's so cool. All right. I have just spoiled. I want to do everything at nighttime, but let's be honest, we kind of can't. Building at nighttime is a bit of a, oh, I didn't look at the airport. I didn't look at the airport at nighttime. It's a City Skylines Airports series, and I didn't look at the airport at nighttime. All right. Well, I guess that means next time I'm going to have to actually build this cargo airport that I've been talking about forever. So I'm going to leave it there for today. I'm making a conscious effort to have this be a little bit of a shorter episode than the last few, because we've had some hour-plus episodes recently, And we've also had like hour-long sim airport videos as well. So this one's a little bit shorter, a little bit more consumable. But I do want to know what you think we should do with these extra spaces that we have around here. I don't think they can all be construction, and I don't think they should all be parks. Some of them have been turned into parking lots, just here and there, like next to the school, you know, some parking lots. So what about the rest of the space? Leave your suggestions in the comments below. I'll take a look. I'll do some clickety-clacking on the keyboard, respond to some of them, and we'll see what we can come up with together to finish Oak District. But next time, whilst I might do some of that, I do want to start working on this cargo expansion for the airport. And I want to see if we can start bringing some cargo trains over there from the industry that we have going on down here in Dale Park, Elk Hills, and this general area. I've also, I think at one point mentioned the idea of a university. I think right here, you know, right next to the lake, next to the residential area, big old university. So a lot of ideas, a lot of plans, and hopefully a bunch of your suggestions getting added to the city as well. Either way, thank you very much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.